You're listening to the Wealthy Lawyer Squad podcast. I'm your host, Lauren Klein, and the founder of the Wealthy Lawyer Squad, a community specifically curated for law students and lawyers who are ready for more success, wealth, personal growth and wellness, and ease in their legal career. With the tools and strategies I teach in the squad and that I've implemented in my own career successfully, I want you to get ready to approach your legal career in a whole new way and live a life you never imagined. I'm a former big law attorney, entrepreneur, law firm owner, and success coach for law students and new lawyers, and I am here to support and inspire you on your journey in the law every step of the way. Let's go, squad. Welcome back to the Wealthy Lawyer Squad podcast. It's so great to be talking to all of you today. So if you've been tuning in here for a while, you know that my favorite topics are money and abundance. And I really want to kick off in my next few, this solo episode and the next few solo episodes, a series talking about wealth, building wealth, really figuring out how to work through some money blocks, true, practical, and mindset strategies so we can all become wealthy lawyers. I really want to talk a lot about shifting our relationship with money, growing and unlocking new levels of abundance in our lives. I think especially in a time as we are recording, there's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of, I would say, fear. There's just a lot of things happening. And I think that when times get a little wild and things get a little uncertain, that is when our relationship with money becomes the most important, I would say. You know, if maybe you have been feeling uncertain, or you just, you don't feel as abundant, or the cost of things is really getting to you, or whatever it might be, those are the times that it's so important that we do focus on our money mindset and our strategies that we are implementing in our life. Today, specifically, I want to talk about something that has truly, completely changed the way that I view, interact with, earn, invest my money. It's one of the most powerful concepts, truly, that I've learned on my journey. I've talked about this in a number of episodes. When I went into big law, it became apparent to me that it was really important that I really understood, not only from a personal development perspective, but a personal finance perspective, how my money worked, my relationship with it, so I could make sure that I was taking that large salary and using it to exponentially increase it, rather than just, as so many of my colleagues, around me were doing, spending. And not that there is anything wrong with spending or luxury items or enjoying life. I love to do those things, but I really like to do it. I love to do it in an intentional way where my money can serve me. So that's what I want to talk about today. It's truly a powerful concept that once I understood and implemented and continue to implement in my life, it changed my relationship with my wealth drastically. So we're going to talk about your financial thermometer. Some people call it an energetic set point, or your energetic highs, lows, minimums, maximums. They all are the same concept, but we're going to go with the thermostat analogy today because I think it's helpful to kind of paint the picture of how this concept works and how you can apply it to yourself. Maybe you in your own life, in your own money, maybe you've heard of this concept before, or maybe this is something totally new to you. But we're really going to be talking about specifically in the context of money. I'm also going to be sharing some of the exact money mindset breakthroughs that I've encountered throughout my law career, and how you can take those lessons that I've learned in those moments and apply them to your own journey. Before we fully dive in, I also want to remind you, if you are enjoying this podcast, if you are getting value, please give us a review, share it with your friends, post it on Instagram. The more people that listen and take in the value, the more we can grow and the more content we can continue to bring to you. So let's dive in with the biggest money mindset breakthrough that has truly helped me to create wealth. It's really the exact moment that helped me from going from, just trading my time for money to actually beginning to build real and lasting wealth and legacy. So I think a lot of us, and this is definitely a story that I continue to work through when it comes to money. A lot of us believe that in order to make money, to make more money, to make a lot of money, we have to work really, really, really hard. We have to work harder. It's all about just the actual practical strategies. It's very that kind of, practical thinking, which is absolutely important. But I think so many times people make the mistake of only focusing on that. The harder I work, the more money I will achieve. The more that I read and, get a good financial advisor, the more financially successful I will be. And it's not that any of those things are bad. I work with a financial advisor, and I think it's really, really important to do so when the circumstances warrant it. But here's the truth. It is not about how hard you work. It's about how you think about money, what you believe about money. It's not just the hustle and the grind, and that definitely serves a place. But it's when I started to implement this belief, this concept in my life, that I began to see in my own life and those around me that our money is truly just a reflection of our mindset. And so going back to that thermostat analogy, your financial thermostat, we all have it set at a certain point. It's what we're used to earning. It's what we feel comfortable with. It's where we are in our current status. And I certainly have, we all have that set point. I definitely had the set point for a very long time of the more I work, the more I earn. That's how I make more money. It's the amount of output and effort that I'm putting out that will then be, rewarded with the input of money, the flow. And I was working really, really hard. I was in big law, and I still work hard with my own firm, but it was just that continuous grind. But what I didn't realize in holding on to that belief so tightly is that I was actually blocking the flow of money and abundance coming into my life. Because of that belief, I was then taking actions and living my life in a way that I only can make money when I work. And so I was actually limiting myself and my thermostat from going up any higher. I had this belief system that if I'm going to earn more, I have to work harder. I can't have abundance without that grind, that hustle, and maybe even burnout. That's the thermostat level that I was operating at. Maybe you're operating at a similar level as well. But once I let go of that belief and I started thinking differently, I started reading, about people and what they were doing in their businesses and listening to podcasts and working with coaches and really digging into what my thought process was and my belief system. Once I believed that I could have the money and the wealth and it could be easy, not 100% of the time, but that there could be ease and money simultaneously occurring, that's when everything shifted. Okay. I started making money without working harder. I started seeing opportunities to grow, to invest, to build that did not require additional output. They required to take advantage of those opportunities, to shift, to be willing and open and not turn down an opportunity or an investment or whatever it might be because I'm scared. That is where your lens of the world starts to impact what you do, what you believe, and then that impacts the results. You see? I'm going to talk a little bit more about how I raised that thermostat in a bit. But for now, I want you to start thinking about this. What is your relationship with money? What do you think your current financial thermostat is set at? Do you, like me, my former belief system, do you believe that earning more requires sacrificing time, energy, happiness? So let's talk about the key to shifting that financial thermostat. We've established what it is. It's that set point. It's where you're comfortable. Maybe you've been earning $100,000 a year with small incremental raises, and you're kind of stuck at that point. Maybe you're stuck at the $50,000, $60,000 range, and you just don't know how to get beyond that. Maybe you're making $1 million a year, but you can't imagine a world without you completely working yourself into the ground where you could go beyond that. Just to give a few examples. So picture this. Your financial thermostat is, like I said, it's that set point, kind of like the temperature in your house. So if your thermostat is set to 70 degrees, it doesn't matter if outside it's 40 degrees, 90 degrees, your house is going to maintain somewhat of that set point. Your thermostat's going to bring it back to where the temperature is set. It's adjusting the environment to meet the set point that you have set on in this example, your actual thermostat. Your financial thermostat works the exact same way. So think about it. Your mind has that set point. It's how much money you deserve or are capable of earning in your current status. And it's shaped by a combination of things. Your upbringing, past experiences, society's influence, and your personal beliefs about wealth. The key to shifting that financial thermostat is being aware of it, right? Going back to that analogy in your home, if you didn't know you had that thermostat, so you weren't adjusting it accordingly to get that desired temperature within your house, you would just be subject to whatever's going on in the elements. Your financial thermostat is the same way. Until you're aware that it exists, you don't know that you need to adjust it. And by being aware of it, you are starting the journey. And for those of you who have already started that journey of awareness, once you go down that road, you can't come back. And I mean that in the best of ways. You have to become aware of what that current thermostat is set to before you can change it. So are you comfortable? Are you comfortable at the level you are at? Do you feel good? Do you feel like, I want to grow? I'm ready to expand. I'm ready to go to that next level. But every time I do, my brain panics, or all these unlimiting beliefs start coming in that, who am I to want this? Or who am I to deserve this? Or that's too hard, or whatever the story is that's going on. Do you find yourself hitting a certain level and you can't go beyond that? You're kind of at that ceiling. You've hit that point and you don't know. Now that you're aware, you're like, okay, I'm aware, but how do I actually adjust it? Because once you know, and once you are aware, that's when the magic starts to happen. So that's when it involves you to start to really analyze, what are my thoughts? What are my beliefs? And starting to consciously shift them to increase that thermostat. It's conscious shifts around money, beliefs around action, and action around money, and taking the step to start to shift all of that from, I am here, I want to be, I'm at X, I want to be at Y. What beliefs, actions, feelings need to happen in order for me to get to from one point to the next? And it's going to be uncomfortable, right? That's why some people, they become aware and they stop there, because maybe they feel really comfortable where they are. They know they want more. They know they want to expand. They know they want to make more money. They know they want a different job, or to start a business, or to move to a different country, whatever it is. Maybe this is you. Maybe you're like, I know I want to do that, but it's not possible. I don't believe it's possible. Here's all the reasons my brain is telling me it's not possible. You have to get uncomfortable and start to really analyze what thoughts are coming in, and are they inherently true or not? Because breaking that set point is going to feel a little weird, or a lot weird. It's going to feel funky. That's why we so often as human beings stop there. That's the point that we just stop. The key to raising that thermostat is rewiring your brain, taking those actions, those thoughts, those beliefs, those money stories, and starting to shift them. That is where you begin to see real change, both financially and emotionally. So now that we've understood that, there is this financial thermostat, there's the awareness and there's the rewiring, how can you start to see more opportunities? The first thing to remember is money is a huge tool. It's a tool for you, for your family, for your life, for your own impact in the world. It's how you can help others. You can help yourself, of course, but you can also do good in the world, whether it's in your job, in a business, in a side business. That's when you can really start to, I think, work through some of those money beliefs. How can I use my money for good? How can I use my money to impact myself in a positive way, my family, my community? Because when those funky money beliefs start to show up, money is the root of all evil. Money doesn't grow on trees. Who am I to deserve money? I'm not a rich person. I'm not a wealthy person. I don't come from money. When those beliefs start to pop up and you start working on the rewiring, it's knowing and reflecting on all the positive things that money as a tool can bring to you. And I want to take a pause here. And I want to let you know that this is not some quick fix. This is not something that happens overnight. For me, this is still something that as I, have left Big Law, as I'm growing a business, I still have to come back to these thoughts and these beliefs. I still need to do this work. And you don't have to wait until the opportunities are showing up and you start to feel good. It's when you start to work through that discomfort that the opportunities come up, that your brain starts to shift. So here are the two major factors that are going to influence your default financial thermostat: your beliefs and your environment. Let's start with beliefs. If you've grown up with the belief that money is scarce or that only certain people can be wealthy and you are not one of those certain people, your thermostat is probably set fairly low at this point. Now, you might be doing well. You might feel, I've gotten to this level. I'm feeling good about that. But I know I want to go beyond. I just don't know how, or I don't know if that's possible for me. You might even find yourself sabotaging opportunities or, not taking chances because you just don't feel worthy of it, or you feel like it's for someone else. It's not for you. Let's talk about the second factor, environment. I have seen studies where, they'll look at so many different factors, and so often environment is the number one factor in determining whether you will be successful or not in your life and in your money. Why is that? We inherently, as human beings, take on the ideas and the belief systems from our community, from our family, from our friends. It's just how it works. That's how our brains work. That's how society works. So if you are surrounding yourself with individuals whose thermostats are set low, maybe they're set where you are, or they're set even lower, it's going to be very difficult to think, act, believe differently than you currently are, right? It's going to be very hard when you have those money blocks and those money stories coming in, or when you get an opportunity, if people around you say, oh, don't do that. That's too scary. That's too risky. They're probably doing it from a place of love, but they're also doing it from their own internal financial thermostat. So if you listen to them and you take on what they're telling you, and again, it's not that they don't love you or care for you, typically, it's that their own beliefs, their own shit is coming up. It's going to influence many times, not always, but so many times, the way we act, how we be, the things we do, the decisions we make, the chances we take. So I really think that if you're surrounding yourself with people who have limiting beliefs around money, it's going to be really hard to break through your own financial thermostat, your own ceiling. But the good news is, one, you don't have to get rid of your friends and your family. We love your friends and your family. You're going to start to, and maybe you might get to a point where some people you do outgrow them in a very loving way, but it's shifting the things you intake, your content, finding people who want to talk about money and business and being a lawyer in a positive light, ideas, opportunities, starting to really connect with people who are on that same wavelength. You will see the way that you believe and talk and act and be around your money will change. You will begin to rise to meet the thermostats of those around you. It doesn't mean you don't have to do the work internally, because remember, we have factor number 1, belief, factor number 2, community. And I want to share with you the one shift that has really made me open to abundance. And abundance has meant a lot of different things for me in my career. It's meant a high salary at one point. Now it means the freedom and the creativity to build my own law firm with the ebbs and the flows that entrepreneurship brings. I'm not earning what I was earning back then. I know I will earn way more, but I'm building and I'm growing. So I have to go back to this work too. I have to remember that my external circumstances are not the only indicator of everything that is happening inside here. That's part of the work. But the one thing that really, it unlocked it for me was giving myself the permission to do this work, the awareness of this work, and giving myself the permission to want more, to receive more, to be someone who can build wealth, who can be abundant, who opportunities come to, connections, business, clients, money flows to me easily. It comes from so many sources. That is true, and it's something that I believe, even when the money isn't showing up, even when the clients aren't engaging us right away. It's my job to continue to believe and do this work, even when the external circumstances don't always indicate that we are going in the right direction. That is part of the work. But opening myself up and knowing that I'm worthy and I can receive, that has changed everything. The second you do that, you will start to feel different. You will feel expansive, and you will start to see. You'll start to see all of a sudden opportunities coming your way, people coming into your life, conversations that you overhear. This has happened to me. Conversations I overhear at a coffee shop. And I say, hey, excuse me, I just have to ask, what are you talking about? And I've built so many relationships, gotten new clients in the most odd way. And sometimes it's the exact person that I needed to meet based on my goals, based on what I was trying to achieve. So let's talk about some of the best ways to shift your beliefs around money, because now we've realized we need awareness. We need to work on our belief system. We need to adjust our community. We need to allow and believe that we are worthy of it. So how do we begin to shift to get to that place? It's repetition. And I love affirmations. I love affirmations as part of this work. So it's like anything else, going to the gym, working on your, whatever it is that day, arm day, leg day. The more you do it, the more you go to the gym, the more you start to increase your weight, the more reps that you can do, then you start to improve your diet. It all starts to feel really good. It starts to feel part of your routine. It's the same thing with money. Your brain around money is just a muscle. It's noticing when those limiting beliefs pop up. It's kind of like if you ever meditate or you do yoga and kind of thoughts are popping up. It's being aware of that thought, saying, thank you, brain, for trying to keep me safe. This is what we want to believe. This is our new thermostat set point. So thank you for that thought. But I choose, thank you for the thought of keeping me safe, that I shouldn't take this opportunity because it's too risky or it's too scary. Thank you for that. But I've done the work. I've done the journaling. I've thought about it. I've, asked my brain trust around me, and this opportunity is aligned with my goals and where I'm going. Or, some money comes in, you get a new client or you get a bonus, but all of a sudden your brain doesn't know what to do. It's never had that kind of money before. It doesn't know what to how to invest it. You freak out and you just spend it. It's happened to me. I've seen it happen so many times. We don't feel worthy of it. We don't feel like we know how to handle it. And so maybe we just leave it sitting in a bank account and because of inflation, it's just not doing anything, or it's decreasing because we're too scared to even look into a money market or to put it in the stock market or whatever it might be. It's looking at what is popping up and shifting. So it's that consistent repetition and the positive affirmations. So think about what your biggest money stories are that are not serving you. And then think about what the opposite would be. Money is hard. Money feels scary. Can we shift that to money is easy? Money is a tool for good. Money supports me. Money flows to me abundantly. How can we take our main negative, or maybe not negative per se, but money beliefs that don't serve us, which are often negative? How can we shift that into something that does serve us and that is aligned with where we want to be, where we're going? Repeating it daily is going to be key. So many times I have journaled it. If I have something that a money block that I'm trying to release, shift from, rewire, I'm journaling the same thing every day. The positive affirmation instead. I'm getting it locked into my brain and getting used to my thermostat raising to meet the new set point that I want to achieve, that new up level that I want to achieve. If you start taking action on all of this and aligning it with your new belief system that you want, that is when your mind starts to accept the new reality you're creating and the thermostat shifts. You start to feel differently, act differently. Opportunity, money comes your way that you would have never imagined. And so that is what I have to say to you about your financial thermostat. I hope that was helpful. This is something that has been incredibly impactful on my life, on my career, on my journey. I hope you're walking away with some new insights about your relationship with money, your relationship with wealth, and how where it's not serving you, how you can shift it. So remember, you have the power to change your relationship with money and unlock more abundance than you truly ever thought possible. If you enjoyed this episode, definitely subscribe, definitely leave a review, share it with someone who could benefit from this message today. If you're interested in diving even deeper into this topic, into money, wealth, abundance, the mindset piece, the practical piece, then definitely check out my Become a Wealthy Lawyer Masterclass. I'm actually recording it live today, so we'll be linking the replay below. Definitely check it out. There's going to be so many incredible topics in there. We're going to be talking about shifting from scarcity to abundance. We're going to be talking about asset protection and tax strategies and investing, estate planning, passive income, so many things specifically tailored for lawyers. Taking all of my experience as a finance major, 13 years as a tax and trust estates attorney, former big law attorney, and now business owner and real estate investor, and law firm owner specifically. We're going to take all of that expertise and put it into an 1.5-hour masterclass so you can continue to build upon the principles that we talked about today. Have that wealthy lawyer mindset, that wealthy lawyer life as well, and implement the wealth building strategies and build your own legacy. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll talk to you guys soon.